Hello everybody, today I will be doing a tutorial on how to install Windows 7 Home Premium on your VirtualBox. This tutorial can also be used if you're installing Windows onto your computer, so if you're only interested in that, go ahead and skip to this time. I will put it on the screen for you. Now, there are several reasons why you would have to install Windows. It could be because you got a new hard drive, because your existing copy of Windows became corrupt, or because you decide to upgrade it to a new version of the operating system. There are also several versions of Windows 7, and this installation is for Home Premium, but the installations for all the other ones are fairly similar. So if you're installing Windows Home Basic or Professional or any other version, this tutorial will still help you. I will be using the 64-bit version, but if you have the 32-bit version, that is also fine. Just remember that the device drivers that you use on your computer and the programs should match up to the bit of your operating system. So if you're installing 32-bit operating system, make sure that your device drivers and programs are also 32-bit. In my case, I will be using an ISO file which has the Windows operating system on it. It is right here. I'm not going to tell you guys how I got it, but you can find it online if you need to. So, to start, I will have to open my VirtualBox. I will press on New because we're making a new virtual machine. I will name it Windows 7 Home Premium. Make sure that this type matches up with the operating system you're going to be installing. And the version, I will pick Windows 7 64-bit because that's what I'm using. Press on Next. You can slide this to however much you need. I will put it right on the edge between green and orange because I have that RAM to spare. I will press Next. I will be using the virtual hard disk, so that's what I'm going to press. I think that's the most universal option. I'm also using a disk image file, so I'll be using the VDI option here. Press Next. I find it better to use dynamically allocated space because that means that if you're working on your virtual machine and you need more hard drive space, then the VirtualBox will allocate that space from your actual hard drive. 32-bit is probably going to be more than enough. Sometimes you can use 20 or even less than that. It really depends. So I'll be using Windows Home Premium. Let's say Create. And now we have it in the top left corner right here. It says powered off right now. I will double click on it to start it. It's going to take a minute. Okay, so here I have to go into this drop menu. I'm on desktop and I'm choosing the ISO file that I need to use. Press open and press start. This will let the VirtualBox know what exactly it's importing and what's it installing onto the virtual machine. So this next step is going to take a while, so if I need to, I'll just speed this up a little bit. This is fairly simple. You just choose the language you need. You choose your time, your keyboard input. Press next. Press install now. So here it gives you the license agreement. You can read it if you want. It's a whole lot of reading. So I'll just press I accept the license terms and I press next. Now, if you already have a version of Windows on your computer and you're upgrading, then you will pick this top version. But since I'm installing, doing a clean install, I will choose custom. This is for new copies of Windows on machines that haven't been used before. So I press that. It already knows how much disk space we're using, so I just press next. And this is the installation process. So now it's done with that, so it's going to install some features, install some updates, and after that the system will restart. And it's going to do that a couple more times before anything important happens. So just let it do this, don't interrupt it, don't restart your machine yourself. So now you just use Windows 7 because that's the operating system you installed. This is sort of the final stages of setup. Here it's going to ask you for your own settings and your login and password if you want to set that up. So here it's going to ask you for your username if that's what you want to give it. So I'll just put in tutorial, then press next. Type a password if you need to. I'm going to avoid that. I don't need a password on this virtual machine, so I'll just press next. Now if you have a product key for your Windows operating system, this is where you would put it in. If you don't have the product key at this time, you can just skip this, and that's what I'm going to do. It's going to give you about a month to activate it, so press skip. Then I just use recommended settings for all the security. Now we set up the time and date. Eastern time, 5:29 p.m. That's correct. So press next, and this is my home network, so I'll choose home network. If this is a virtual machine or a Windows operating system that you're setting up at work, then you'll choose work network or public network if you need to. I'm just going to press home network and continue with that. So this is just the final steps. This is the last things it's going to do before it lets you use the Windows 7. Here you go. Windows 7 is installed. You can now use it. On the virtual machine, it works basically as it would on a regular PC if you're just installing Windows for your computer. Here you have a computer. It shows you how much space you have and everything. All of this works. It's basically just a proper computer made in a virtual environment.